Bo, for everybody out there that don't know me, my name is Big Low Country. I'm just an old country boy, former football coach that love to sit around and talk about sports. Yes, you yourself could have been anywhere in the world tonight, and I definitely and greatly appreciate it. First of all, if you're watching the show after we've gone live already, make sure you put a what in the world Bo in the comments. Also, make sure that you share the channel with your friends and family. I would definitely and greatly appreciate that. Bo, where twins? Where have you been? Nobody knows me like you. Where y'all been at, Bo? It seems like it's been a minute since we had a chance to have a coaches meeting. And, every time we do, it's definitely it's definitely a great time, right? It's definitely a great time. So, welcome to the real coaches meeting over here with Big Low Country. We got a few things that we need to talk about. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the last time we spoke is whenever we found out that Jeff Ulbrich was going to be our new defensive coordinator. I know a lot of people were in their feelings about it. Some people were okay with it. Some people liked it. Some people had complete disdain for it. And I understand that. We're kind of in a place of no man's land right now. We're trying to figure out what's going on. But moving forward, the Atlanta Falcons have some decisions they need to make, Bo. They got to figure out what they're going to do with this roster. They got to figure out, hey, Tyler Algier, are you still going to be here? Kyle Pitts, what's going on with you, Kirk Cousins? What we're going to be doing with Kirk Cousins. And I think one of the biggest things that everybody's trying to figure out right now is it going to be a situation where we have Myles Garrett on the Atlanta. Not that Myles Garrett. Shouts out to Myles Garrett. Shouts out to my homeboy Myles, man. Not that Myles Garrett. Not our Georgia-bred, Georgia-born Myles Garrett. Went to UGA. Been representing these Falcons and be on TV all the time. Not that Myles Garrett. I'm talking about the other Myles Garrett. So that's what we're trying to figure out. So moving forward here, I got to show love to everybody that's showing love to me. Y'all know how we do it. It's not a situation, where we play games. We got to show love to everybody that's showing love to us. Deshaun Coswell says, what in the world, Bo? He says, womp, there it is. Oh, I'm sorry. Whoop, there it is. Okay. Whoop, there it is. Okay. Whoop, there it is. Yeet, get some. There it is. There it is. What's going on, Deshaun, man? Much love to you, Bo. Brian Moses is in here. Rishi says, rise up. Charlene Samuel says, what in the world, Bo? What's going on, Bo? Bernard's in here. Much love to you, fam. Much love to you. What in the world, Rishi? Tony Wright's in here. Says, what's good, Lo? Man, what's going on with your fam? Hope you're doing good. I heard that those business dealings with Julio Jones have been been working out very well for you. Douglas Farrington says, facts, these Falcons, this trade happens. It takes so long to Bo, what you talking about? Tay Bro's in here. What in the world, Bo? Dre Murphy, what's going on, Dre? Hope you're doing good. D.A. Hunter says, what in the world, Bo? Cortez Sherman, what in the world, Bo? What's going on with you, man? Jay Beasy, Full Sale Mate, Central Georgia in here. What's going on with you, Bo? What's going on with you? There's a lot of legends, a lot of legend Falcons fans coming out of that middle Georgia area. Shouts out to my homeboy Lario. Shouts out to my homeboy Old Tidy. We repping down there. Shouts out to got a lot of middle Georgia folks down there. Much love to the middle Georgia Atlanta Falcons family. Daryl, what's going on, Daryl? What in the world, Bo? I ain't seen you in a minute, Bo. Hope you've been behaving yourself. Because Dreesy says she been keeping you in line. So look. Cloud says, what's up, Lo? Duval. If y'all know where that Duval. If y'all know where that comes from, I made a short picking on new coach Liam Cohen, picking on Liam Cohen saying Duval. Douglas Farrington, what's going on, Bo? Tony Wright says, hey, Bo, I would love to trade for Myles Garrett. I would love to trade for him too. But more of the main question is it a situation where it's something that we can do? Mr. Shell Time, what's going on, Bo? That's the biggest question. Is it one of those cases where it's something that we can accomplish? Well, let's look into it. Let's look at the situation and just kind of look at all aspects of it. So for one thing that we have to consider is the mere fact that to make a trade, if you're trading draft picks, you have to have draft picks. Am I right or wrong? To trade draft picks, you got to have draft picks. We got 5 draft picks. We don't have a first. We got 5 draft picks. So to make a trade, to trade draft picks, you got to have draft picks. And while we're talking about this, and while we're unpacking everything, like we're coming back from a long trip, I'm going to ask the coaching staff: is this a coaches meeting or is this a GM meeting? Where's Coach Ronnie? Where's Coach Ronnie when I need her to explain to me? Are we having a coaches meeting or is this a personnel meeting? Whether or not I got to ask the coaches / GMs in the building. Do y'all think we should get Myles Garrett? If you feel like we should get Myles Garrett, put a 1 in the chat. Now, if you feel like we shouldn't or we ain't going to do it due to the circumstances, put a 2 in the chat. I just want to know what everybody's thinking. But moving forward, there's a few things that we got to consider. You got to have the draft picks if you're going to trade for them. If you're going to trade for that young Thundercat, you got to have the draft picks. You got to have the money. You got to have the money if you're going to be if you're going to go out and get them. Because the thing is, from the talk that I'm hearing, everybody's saying that the first couple of years, I mean, he's pretty much going to be on a vet minimum deal, but he's going to want a new contract. Thing is, as he wants that new contract, I'm sure he's going to want a sign-up bonus. Look, it's tax season. I see y'all out here getting them bonus, them loans from TurboTax. I be seeing, I be peeping y'all out. So, in the words of Lisa Shepard, that's another issue. Are we going to have the money to pay him? And number 3 is he going to want to come here? All these are things we got to take into consideration, right? Those are things that we got to consider. Is he going to want to come here? Whenever he made his announcement that he posted on social media, when he said, hey, it's not a situation where, I don't want to be in Cleveland. Cleveland is my home, but I want to win a Super Bowl. Is Myles Garrett looking at that Atlanta Falcons roster and looking at that coaching staff, and is he legitimately looking and saying, I could be playing next February, playing as a member of the Atlanta Falcons? I mean, that's the question. Those are the 3 biggest questions and the 3 biggest things that I'm thinking that we might have to consider, guys. Is it a situation where he's going to say, hey, I mean, look, if I'm going to win a Super Bowl, I could do it by playing as a member of the Atlanta Falcons? That's the $52 million question at the end of the day. I could do it as a member of the Atlanta Falcons. So, moving forward, let's see what everybody's thinking. I said put a 1 in the chat. Do you feel like it's one of those situations where, we should go off and get Myles Garrett? Look, I know some of y'all getting naked like Kanye West's wife at the Grammys last night. Y'all need to be getting naked like that. It's a kid's show. Y'all need to be getting naked like Kanye West's wife now. Come on now. Chill out. Y'all in the fur coat, just dropping the fur coat. Look at me. I ain't never seen somebody. Hold on. I'm sorry. I apologize for getting off base. Cause look, y'all know I be having trouble focusing sometimes. I ain't never seen somebody want to get naked so much for in my life, bro. you see that girl? She was out there taking pictures. She had a fur coat on. Hold on. She had a back turned to everybody too. She just dropped the fur coat down. Look at me. Then she turned around. Look at me. Like, what in the world? What's going on? Now, this don't feel like fashion no more. This feel like a this feel like a situation where, you might be getting a little something out of getting naked, kind of like Dre Murphy, getting naked with Kyle Pitts all the time. But I ain't even finna go down that road. So James O'Neal says, right, coach, draft picks. Yes, that's the question. So, all right, let's see what everybody's thinking. Dre Murphy, he says one. He says, hey, ho, ho, I need Myles Garrett in the dough. That's what he's saying. I'm a dog. Dexter Blash, Clay Belton, Bernard, Jay Beasley, Dreesy, Mr. Shelltown, LJ, Daryl. They all say one. They all getting naked like Kanye West's wife. Look, I ain't mad at it. I would love to have Myles Garrett. I would love to have Myles Garrett on this team. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Myles Garrett, please come on through the door. But once again, it's a situation where we have to consider, is it something that we can do? Is it something that we can do? Carson's in here. Carson says, Coach, Myles Garrett said he wanted to go to a team that was a contender, not a team that got 44 on their head week 18. Man, boy, I ain't gonna lie to you. Carolina Panthers, they threw 44 on our back like Jerry West, bro. We got to walk around with that 44 this whole offseason. And that's tough. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like, but this is where we're at. Jalen says 2. He says 2. He says we don't have the asset. Don't trust the Falcons to use him correctly. Now, I was talking to my homeboy, Let's Get It, GA, a little bit earlier today, about 3-4 hours ago. And he was saying, shouts out to Let's Get It, GA, man. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on YouTube. But he was saying, like, hey, coach, we're in a situation. Terry Fontenot is in a situation. He was saying Terry Fontenot's on the hot seat. I mean, I don't necessarily know what kind of seat he on. I mean, I know that Raheem Morris' jaws should be burning off right now. But fact of the matter is, he's saying Terry Fontenot's on the hot seat, and you have to consider that if you don't make a move, like a big splash move this offseason to help fix this defense that hasn't been consistent in rushing the quarterback for the last 2 decades, it ain't gonna be nice. It ain't gonna be nice. Because the fact of the matter is that every year, every regime that we get, you continuously have coaches that continuously come in. Last 4 years, 4 defense coordinators. Everybody's coming in and telling us, this is what I'm going to do. The previous coach didn't know what he was doing. This is what I'm going to do to fix this pass rush. Every year, we get the same thing. Every year. Oh, don't worry about those. Look, don't worry about those previous years. I'm going to fix it. Then, crazy thing is, we finally get a coach to come in that, halfway fix it. We let him go. You get Ryan Nielsen to come in and halfway fix it. We let him go. So, moving forward, it's one of those cases where, yes, I believe that the Atlanta Falcons have to make a big splash move. They're going to have to do a cannonball. They're going to have to do a cannonball in the pool. But I don't know if it's necessarily going to be Myles Garrett. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. If you just look at the past, if you look at the history of the Atlanta Falcons, you're talking about Kanye West, why she's an exhibitionist. Yeah, she got an exhibition, all right. Daryl says, get naked. Yeah, man. I already did that when the news broke. Goodness gracious. Goodness. Daggone. Fact of the matter is that if you look at the history of the Atlanta Falcons, someone please let me know when's the last time we made a move to get a top 5 or a top 10 player in the league from another team. Someone please feel free to put it in the chat. When is the last time we went out and we had an issue? I'm sorry, in the words of Coach Lisa Shepard, we had an issue. When's the last time we went out and we got a top 5 or top 10 player off another team, or even in free agency? Somebody please let me know. Now, Coach Lisa, she says Jesse Bates. I mean, is Jesse Bates a top 5 or a top 10 player in the league? I don't know about top 5 or top 10 in the league. I'm talking about just like Ghost Pepper says, a premier or a perennial pass rusher. I could say Myles Garrett is potentially a top 10 player in the league today. I could legitimately say that every year he's in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, guaranteed 13 sacks. They have to plan games around him. Easy top 10 player. And that's just in my opinion. Also, if you think we should go ahead and get Myles Garrett and you need a way to express it, and you done got naked like Coach Brownlee did, but you need another way to express it, you could do that by hitting that like button. You hit that like button for me, I promise you I'll dance at your wedding one day. But when's the last time we went out and got a guy like that, guys? Jay Murphy says Dwight Freeney. Look, if you would have said Dwight Freeney 3 or 4 years before we actually got Dwight Freeney, I would say yes. Yes, definitely. 1,000 times yes. But we got Dwight Freeney on the back end of it. You know, Dwight Freeney, he literally limped into Atlanta. Whenever he flew in, you know, they pushed him through the airport on one of those little cars. He got to load onto the plane first. I'm just joking. Dwight Freeney, he was definitely a force, and he was one of the best pass rushers on that team, even though he was in his later years of his career. But when's the last time we got a guy like that? Now, fact of the matter is that we made big splash moves in the draft. Now, everybody can't forget 2001, Michael Vick. You know, you traded up the number 1 overall and got Michael Vick, and you know, we all seen how that worked out. It was a great time to be a Falcons fan. You traded up and traded the farm, I still think Thomas Dimitroff is walking on a prosthetic leg to this day because he traded one of his legs away to get Julio Jones. Well worth it. Well worth it. Future Hall of Famer. But as far as a player, a perennial player that's in the league currently and going off and getting them, the Atlanta Falcons aren't that team. They're not the team to do that. They're not those guys. The Atlanta Falcons are my mama. They're mama country who say, we got McDonald's at home. And everybody's heard the story of Eddie Murphy when his mama say, we got McDonald's at home, and he gets the big old thick hamburger between 2 pieces of white bread, and it's soaking through the bread, and it's all uncomfortable. They ain't like the thin patties that they got at McDonald's. That's the Atlanta Falcons. We don't go out and get perennial players. That's not us. So, as much as I would like to get Myles Garrett, I'm just looking at all of the factors. In the words of Arthur Smith, all of the variables. Would it really be one of them situations where we do something that we've never done in our team's history? I will be completely honest with you. Maybe it's time to do that. Mr. Terry, maybe it's time to go ahead and make that move. Tabro says John Abraham, maybe. Look, John Abraham, I would say that's probably one of the best trades we ever made for a player. I mean, John Abraham and Tony Gonzalez, 2 of the best trades we ever made. One of the best free agent signings, Jesse Bates, Michael Turner. I mean, those are a couple that come to mind, some of the best free agent signings. But as far as, just a perennial player, I mean, somebody feel free to put it in the chat. Blue Jacket for Life says Dwight Freeney was over the. Yeah, man. Yeah, Iron Mike. Yeah, Tony Gonzalez and John Abraham. The crazy thing is, everybody thought Tony Gonzalez was done whenever we brought him in. Everybody thought it was all over with for him. But I mean, you seen he got with old Matt Ryan, and look, he literally turned his whole career around, and um, they played some beautiful football for years after that. Ghost Pepper says, we're unfortunately not a player away. I love to offload Kurt, Kyle Pitts, and some draft capital, but I don't think we're in a position to make this happen without hamstringing us. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. You definitely right, Bo. It would be different if we were. Y'all remember that year we brought in Steven Jackson, and everybody was like, "Man, if we only had a running back, we got everything else. But if we only had a running back." Unfortunately, when we got Steven Jackson, we still didn't have a run. Whenever we brought Steven Jackson in, we still didn't have a running back, right? Come to find out, the best running back was third or fourth string in Devontae Freeman. I'm pretty sure Tidy's somewhere getting naked right now. But yes, fact of the matter is that we're not in a situation where we're just one player away. There's a few things that we need to do. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. One thing that I feel like a lot of people are forgetting, and a lot of people aren't acknowledging as far as this Atlanta Falcons team, something that we need to do. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. We need a couple of cornerbacks, guys. I'm I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. We need a couple of cornerbacks. Cornerback situation looking kind of rough. Now, we talk about making those big splash moves. I don't think it would be as sexy, but I really feel like Jalen Ramsey could really help turn this defense around. Number one, because he can play every position in the secondary. He can play on the corners. He could play inside in the slot. He could play safety. I could see him moving to safety one day. And he has a great relationship with Raheem Morris. So if Raheem Morris called him and said, "Hey, can you help me save my job, Jalen?" I'm sure Jalen Ramsey would be more than happy to step in and, go ahead and help fill that void. But yes, I definitely feel like that might be a option that we might want to consider. Also, okay. Lisa Shepard says Alex Mack Alex Mack was huge. I might say, don't forget about Joey Harrington. Oh my God. Yes, Alex Mack. Peerless Price? What in the world? Oh man. Yeah, I'm saying cornerbacks. Yeah, I'm saying cornerbacks. I feel like we need to step outside the box, and we need to get cornerbacks. One of the reasons why this defense looked so bad last year was because Raheem Morris didn't trust the cornerbacks. He didn't want to uh, put those cornerbacks in a bad position for them to get burned. And then moving forward, what ended up happening? It was literally a situation where these guys were kind of just stuck out there playing 12, 13 yards off the ball. And, your guys up front, they don't got a chance to put no pressure on the quarterback. So look, you really need some cornerbacks. Iron Mike, he also makes another great point. You also got to have some linebackers that can cover. I'm hearing a lot of names thrown around in free agency. But the middle of the field has to be, and look, they can't only just cover, because one of the issues that we've had with linebackers in the past has been either you get a linebacker that can play the run, he can step up, fill holes, or you get a linebacker that can solely play the pass, who could solely cover. I need somebody that could do both. I need somebody that can step up and that can back up. I need a complete linebacker. So that's definitely going to be important as well. Wyatt says we need Myles, Ward, Newsom. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, yes. If we could get all those guys, that would definitely be great. Unfortunately, they put together a heck of a defense out there in Cleveland, but they thought Deshaun Watson was going to come save them. Same way the Falcons did. Like, let's not be hypocritical. And we seen how that worked out. We seen how that worked out. You know, ain't no telling what Buddy doing. Look, he obviously ain't doing what he supposed to do in the massage parlor because he done messed around and tore his Achilles again. Ain't no telling what Buddy doing. Clay Mel says, I won't say it. I'll say we don't know what we are. Incompetence, particularly defensively, makes it hard to know what we have. Lake managed to make Grady look below average unless we think he's bad. I ain't gonna lie to you, Clay. Like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, Clay. Like, that's something that you definitely got to consider. Now, I was talking to Coach Roney about something the other day, and I wanted to kind of get y'all's opinion about it. I know you mentioned you were talking about Grady Jarrett being looking below average. Is it one of those cases, guys, where we look at our players the same way we look at our children or we look at our family members? Is that a case? For example, y'all done seen my dog Shaka Khan. You know, Shaka's bad. I know Shaka's bad. You know, Shaka, she's poorly behaved. You know, but I don't think she's as bad as she actually is. Right? She's probably a terror, but I don't think she's that bad. For example, my little cousin Shady, I think the world of him. You can't do no wrong in my eyes. I think he's the best player in the world. I don't think there's a better safety in the world than Shady. But am I just thinking that because he's my little cousin? I mean, that might be the case. Is it one of those cases where we're holding our players, our Atlanta Falcons, to a higher standard because there are Atlanta Falcons? I mean, that could very well be the case. Look, I love Grady Jarrett. I don't never want Grady Jarrett to go anywhere. But I also know that Grady Jarrett's been shouldering the load for this defensive line for the last 10 years. I know that he needs some help. I don't want him to say the same thing every year at the end of every season. I don't want him to say that. Right? So whenever we got Kyle Pitts, everybody was and that kind of goes into the conversation that I wanted to lead into, because I'm hearing a lot of people saying, hey, maybe we should just trade Kyle Pitts and Kirk Cousins and a draft pick for Myles Garrett. I mean, first of all, I don't see Cleveland Browns trading for a tight end. They got Njoku. Njoku's been balling out. He balled out last year. But the fact of the matter is, guys, is that whenever we look at Kyle Pitts, I think it might be a situation where we think he might be better than he actually is. Like, yes, he had a 1,000-yard season that first year. He also had Matt Ryan throwing him the ball. And Matt Ryan, he probably held him to a different standard than other people got held to. But the fact of the matter is, guys, is that at the end of the day, maybe we're holding our guys to a higher standard than they actually are, just because there are guys. D. Sloan says, what in the world, Bo? Which defensive position should the Falcons select at 15? I feel like they should select any defensive position at 15, D, to be completely honest with you. I ain't taking nobody defensively at 15 because I want to move down. we got to get some draft capital, Bo. If we stay at 15 and if we just go into this draft and get 5 picks with all the work that this team needs, it ain't going to be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty, because I'm hearing rumors about Drew Dahlman leaving. The market's up for him. He's led this offensive line for a few years, and it's been one of the top offensive lines in the league. Of course, teams are going to try to bring him in to lead their offensive line. Now, does he hike the ball and it goes way up in the air? You gotta have a ladder to get some of them hikes. Yes, yes, that's the truth. Does he hike it sometime on his own without talking to nobody? Yes, he does. But the fact of the matter is that he's a pretty good doggone center. You know, you're gonna need more than 5 picks, in my opinion. And I feel like, if you try to get Myles Garrett and you're trading picks to get Myles Garrett, I just don't feel like that. I don't look, I know we want to make the splash move, guys, but I don't know if it's the responsible things to do. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. Um, let's see. Tony Wright says Seattle and the San Francisco 49ers are seriously talking about signing him. I wouldn't doubt it. He'll be the perfect center in that San Francisco offense. I would not doubt it. You're right, Bernard. Cool, bad this year, Bo. It was some hard times, man. That's what I'm saying. Look, it's just like Ghost Peppers mentioned earlier. There's a lot of positions that we need to fill. So if we go off and we get, look, if y'all want to be house poor, we can be house poor, right? I done seen people have the big old columns and the spiraling staircase and the big old columns in front of their house. 3-car garage. They only got 1.5 cars, but they got a 3-car garage. Ain't no food in the pantry. You know what I'm saying? So what happens if we go off and get Myles Garrett, third game of the season, and we trade 3 picks, 2 first and a third? Mind you, we don't even have a first this year, but we 2 first and a third for Myles Garrett. He gets hurt week 3. What we gonna do? What we gonna do, Bo? I ain't trying to be in that situation. You know who recently did that? Do you know who recently traded for a first overall pick and have been abysmal these last 2 years? The Carolina Panthers. Ask them how that's working out. DJ Moore, one of the top 10 wide receivers in the league. They traded what? 3 first-round picks? They finally getting a first-round pick. They ain't seen a first-round pick since the Israelites came out of Egypt. They finally getting a first-round pick. So the question is that do we want to put ourselves in that situation? Mind you, now look, I want Myles Garrett. I want him to be on this team, but I also don't want to put us in a bad situation down the road. Why I said they not us. He said that's them, big dog. They not us. Oh man, but you're right though. You're right. Jay Murphy says, me personally, he says I'm getting a freaking linebacker that can freaking cover somebody though. But hey, I ain't mad at you, Bo. I ain't mad at you. I mean, look, me myself, I say you continue to build this defensive line and these edges. Because the fact of the matter is that number one, you can't never have too many edge rushers. And if Jeff Ulbrich is legitimately going to be running a hybrid front line, then you're going to need a whole bunch of different body types. You're going to need a nose tackle. You're going to need one of them big boys that you can land a plane on his back. You're going to need a defensive ends who, about 270, 280, long arms that can set the edge, kind of mobile, catch somebody who's trying to run around the edge. You're going to need, some defensive tackles, 310, 320. And if you're running that 3-4, you have that nose. You're going to need that 350-pound nose tackle. You're going to need that 350-pound nose tackle. I done turned my application in. I turned my application in to be nose tackle. I ain't going to tell y'all how much I weigh. But I tell you one thing, I checked the mark. 350, I checked that mark. 6'2", 350, I checked that mark. Oh man, Boca says, we need one car, no food in the pantry. We have a car. Where have a car come from? They got a car and they got a 4-wheeler. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is they house poor. They got 3-car garage. They got a car. Air conditioner don't work. And then they got a 4-wheeler or, side by side or something. They be like, yeah, this is my recreation car. Why you got 3-car garage then? You could just got a car with two. You got a house with 2 garages. This don't make no sense. Oh man, Purple Haze in here. Purple Haze says, "How much y'all got? Free agent dollars to spend at Montgomery Awards? It's not much. Y'all gonna get. Well, look. Let's see. Let's look it over the cap. Now, the precursor for this part of the show is that the salary cap isn't real, right? The salary cap is a figment of everyone's imagination. All right, so we have $3.6 million as of right now. As of right now, we got $3.6 million. Fact of the matter is that what they say the salary cap is going to be going up to $25 million. I'm sorry, it's going to be going up $25 million. So by the time everything's over with, we should have $28 million. Now, Terry Fontenot, I don't know if I rewatched Ozark to see if Terry Fontenot was in there because I really feel like he's laundering money. Because I just don't know where. If you look at what the New Orleans Saints did for the last 20 years, pretty much, it's like they'll start the off season off. They'll have no money in the salary cap, and then you turn around, they got $50 million, free in the salary cap. You're like, wait a minute, hold on, where that money come from? Because y'all always don't have money. So Terry Fontenot, he was pretty much the capologist for the New Orleans Saints. So I'm not really worried about the salary cap for Purple Haze. So moving forward, just like Wyatt says, if we do some restructuring, like we restructure Grady Jarrett, we restructure Jake Matthews, you could legitimately open up, a good $25 million. I know a lot of people are saying, hey, is it time to move on from Jake Matthews? That's something that I have been wanting to acknowledge. As far as like whether or not we should move on from Jake Matthews, I don't know why people keep bringing that up, because Jake Matthews is just 32 years old. I know it feels like he's been around forever, but he's just 32 years old. Like he's a consistent left tackle, and now he's not going to be blocking the blind side anymore. I'm legitimately looking at keeping Jake Matthews around for like the next 3-4 years at least. And you also got to consider, guys, he's a Matthews. Matthews play up until they're almost 40. You might as well just go ahead and keep him until the tires go bald. Yeah, might as well go ahead and keep him till the tires go bald, like some of y'all girlfriends. I just play it. Y'all see me in person, don't be trying to beat me up. But yeah, you might as well just go ahead and keep him, because at the end of the day, he's gonna be, doing this thing for the next 3-4 years at a high level. Blue Jacket says, hey man, 32 and overpaid. He's just an average left tackle. Well, that's the thing though. It's hard to find an average left tackle, and you done had the top 5 offensive line for what, last 2-3 years. You might as well keep that. You might as well keep that one, Bo. You might as well keep him. He played left tackle. Well, whenever he just getting whipped like a old stubborn mule, that's whenever you take him out. But shoot, he one of the most consistent pass blockers last year. I might as well shoot. You might as well run that one on back. You might as well just run that one on back. JB says, Bo, he says, I've been a fan since 1990 and I'm 42. We're going to win the championship by the 2028. Stamp that. Faith. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I think that we are a lot closer than we were. I'm also going to be honest with you as well. Terry Fontenot, Bo, like that's. I'm sorry, not Terry Fontenot. Raheem Morris. Like a lot of it's on Raheem Morris. If we're going to win this chip by 2028, Raheem Morris got to tighten up. He got to tighten up. We can't continue to do what we've been doing. He has to tighten up, Bo. But like I said, we're going to see. We're going to see what he's working with. I apologize, y'all. I'm over here upset with Torian Prince because I just need two more points from him, and Milwaukee Bucks are getting blown out. So they done messed the old dog up, Bo. Come on, Torian Prince. You ain't do nothing for the Hawks. You could at least do something for the old country boy tonight. Good grief. Daggone. Why is it dang? I was born in 1990. Salute. Yeah, you old young Thundercat. I can't say nothing. I'm just barely older than you. Yeah, you old Thundercat. You old young Thundercat. You born in 1990. Solitary said, I made it, but I'm late. But you're here. You're here. That's all I'm saying. You're here. Dre Murphy says that part right there, though, beloved. It's hard to find an average offensive lineman like Jake Matthews, though. Yeah, I mean, and just like Coach said a little bit earlier, so you help build that continuity. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But at the end of the day, if we want to go off and get somebody like a Myles Garrett, you're going to have a lot of things go right. You're legitimately going to have a Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis trade. If you want to get Myles Garrett, like I said, remember, number one, you got the issue with the picks. We only have 5 picks, and we don't even have a first-round pick. Number two, the salary cap. I'm not as worried about that part of it because Terry Fontenot, he be washing the money at the laundromat. Number three, does Myles Garrett even want to come here? He said he wants to go somewhere where he could possibly win a championship. I mean, is that even an option? We sit here saying we want him, but the question is, does he want us? I mean that's something that we got to consider. Dre Murphy says I would bring back Mike Hughes if he could stay healthy though, instead of going after Jalen Ramsey though. But look, I'm cool with it. Nar says, are we bringing back Justin Simmons? I mean, see, that's the question. That's the question. Hopefully, Jeff Ulbrich and Raheem Morris and Jared Gray are all in the room right now trying to consider whether or not they should bring those guys back. Hopefully that will be the case. But I mean, like I said, we'll see how that part of it goes. Why says he has a no trade? Man, I don't know if he got no trade clause or not. I know like some teams they just legitimately try to look out for a guy who's been loyal to him for an extended period of time. And some teams they don't care; they just go after the best deal. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know what kind of business Cleveland Browns trying to do. I don't know if they're trying to legitimately bring in somebody. I mean, take him to somebody who could win the championship somewhere, somebody where he will actually want to go, or if it's one of those cases where they're like, hey, you just go where we tell you to go. I ain't finna go back and forth with you. Why it says Rand? Well, I want to ask y'all this because I don't know if people have actually been bringing this talking point up. Of course, you see on social media, you see people, other content creators, they talk about the possible scenarios. I don't know if anyone's brought that scenario up to y'all, but I mean, would y'all consider bringing in a Jalen Ramsey? If you would consider bringing in a Jalen Ramsey, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't like it, and you would rather go in another direction, put a 2 in the chat. I just want to know what y'all thinking. Also, need y'all to make sure that y'all hit that like button. If you hit that like button for me, I promise you I'll dance at your wedding one day. Also, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I would definitely and greatly appreciate that if this is your first time watching and chilling out with us. I don't know how many likes we got, but I know that, this is an off-season show. And, a lot of times the coaches' meetings are a little bit smaller during the off-season. So I know my goal is I normally cut it in half. So if I could get 50 likes, I would definitely and greatly appreciate it. If I get 50 of them, I don't know how many we got, but if I can get 50 of them, we in there like swimwear, Bo. Cleared up like skincare, Bo. All right, let's see. Strapped up, nickname in the A, strapped up, shouted. He says 1. He says, look, I'm good with bringing in Jalen Ramsey. Brandon Levy says 1. What's going on, Brandon? No scissors today, huh? Bernard says 1. Okay. JB said take him to Magic City and tell them ain't nothing like this in any other city. I'll wait. Hello, man. So you trying to get that man in trouble. Oh man. Let's see. Dre Murphy says 2. He says pineapples. He don't like it. He said he'd rather just keep Mike Hughes. Who? Mike Hughes? Who? Mike Hughes? Y'all make sure y'all check out my homeboy ATLGA Faithful. DC over there making some great content. Shouts out to my boy, man. That's my homeboy. Cool people, boy. Cool people. Daryl says, I take Ramsey if he can get if he can get 12 plus sacks. I don't know if he's gonna be getting 12 plus sacks, bro. Now, if he's running that slot, he's an excellent blitzer. I can see him get you, 2 or 3, possibly. I feel like he could really play that role that Brian Poole played so well. I feel like Brian Poole was such a good nickel corner that Super Bowl season. I feel like that could be Jalen Ramsey. And like I said, he's interchangeable. With him, he has so many football smarts. You could run that inverted cover too, and do all kinds of things with him. And I feel like that would play to Raheem Morris's strengths. Raheem Morris likes to outthink you, or at least he tries to outthink you on the defensive side of the ball. So instead of just hey, my man against your man, I'm gonna run man coverage. Nah, it's like they're gonna be backpedaling, and he's trying to shift and move people. He's running cover 3s and cover 9s, cover 6s, inverted cover 2s. The guy that was sitting on top of the house might replace the guy in the box, and they might just change it from the guy in the box, or that linebacker just dropping back in Tampa 2, just running back down the field with his head turned around, making sure that he cuts off any streaks. You need smart players to run Raheem Morris' system in that defensive backfield. Now, Dre, I'm not saying that your boy Mike Hughes isn't smart. Look, whenever the defense was flowing and they played a little bit more freely, Mike Hughes legitimately made some great plays, in all honesty. But moving forward, yeah, you got to make sure that you put your guys in a situation to be successful. Let's see here. Purple Haze says Stephen Gilmore thinking about retiring. Go get him, man. Yeah, look, man. There's a lot of guys that you could go out there and get, but at the end of the day, you got to make sure that they fit your scheme. You got to make sure that they're going to give you 110%. Brandon Levy, he broke out the scissors. He said, Mike Hughes ain't it. Mike Hughes ain't it. Like I said, whenever the defense was flowing, Mike Hughes, he plugged and played and was pretty successful. But there were times where Mike Hughes was looking lost out there, bro. Like that there were times whenever it was Mike Hughes was looking like a huge liability out there. So I hear what you're saying. Bernard says, I'll take Ramsey, put him in safety later, like the Packers did with Charles Woodson as he goes up in that. See, I mentioned that a little bit earlier. I know he actually expressed interest in playing safety as well. Earlier, I think it was like last year, the year before last. So that's something that you guys can see. Brandon, we on the same page. I've been saying that we need a corner. We need a corner. I know everybody's saying, hey, we need to go out, trade a left arm and a right leg for Myles Garrett. And I would love to have Myles Garrett on the team. But we really need a corner. We really need a corner. I know a lot of people were kind of let down whenever we had excuse me, who's the cornerback that we got that we traded from the Detroit Lions? I can't remember the kid's name. He ended up going to the Houston Texans. Man, I can't remember his name. Somebody please put it in the chat. What's going on, Alfonso? You ain't late, Bo. You right on time. You right on time, Bo. Oh man, what's the kid's name? The number 2 cornerback that we had last year. What's the kid's name? But the defense looks so much better. Yes, Jeff Okudah. Thank you so much, Strap Dog. Jeff Okudah, the defense looks so much better because you had so much freedom to do so many different things. Whenever you could just say, hey, here's the guy that you guarding, you give him the toilet paper if he goes to the bathroom. Man, that takes so much stress off of you as a defense. And we didn't have that. Raheem Morris didn't trust that second cornerback last year. And the crazy thing is that AJ Terrell played pretty good last year. AJ Terrell had some pretty good games last year. And of course, whenever you play cornerback in the NFL, you're going to give up some plays. You're going to give up some big plays, but AJ Terrell, he legit balled out. But on the other side, they were legitimately attacking those guys. So if you look at Jalen Ramsey's PFF numbers, I think he was like in the top 5 in tackling with his tackling grade last year. If you're going to have him play that nickel cornerback position, that's definitely needed. That's something that we needed whenever we played Jaden Daniels in the Washington Commanders, second to the last game of the season. Whenever our nickel cornerbacks and our cornerbacks and our linebackers, everybody just could not tackle them. Everybody took bad ankles. They act like they were scared to tackle them. I mean, if you have football players like a Jalen Ramsey, issues like that wouldn't happen. They wouldn't. You wouldn't give up those cheap first downs. So I mean, that's something that we definitely got to consider. Yeah, I definitely agree, Brandon. ATLGA Faithful says, I think Revel, if we can get him or Harrison, yeah, man, that's look. The fact of the matter is, guys, is that there's a lot of people out there that we could pick up. The question is that are we going to make the moves? That's the question. Mike Hollywood's in here. He says 20 was getting smoked. talk about D Alford. Yeah, man, it was old Glow. Shouts out to my homeboy Glow, man. Yeah, he was struggling. It looks like Torian Prince is gonna let me down tonight. Daggone, boy, I had the squad too. Daggone. I'm pretty sure Coach Ronnie gonna be like, yeah, you say that every week, Coach Lowe. Man, boy. That one hurt. Tony Wright says, I believe that Clark Phillips will be our nickel slot cornerback next season, as D. Alford is a free agent. yeah. The thing is that play that nickel cornerback spot, you got to have that spatial awareness, right? And I know some people, they like to go with the smaller cornerbacks, but it depends on the coverage that you're running, because if you have those smaller cornerbacks, especially those nickel cornerbacks, uh, those plays are especially susceptible to the rub routes and the pick plays. You don't want them to be a liability. You don't want them guys to get picked and just give up those easy plays, those easy first downs. So I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, we just kind of just tell our guys to run through some of those picks, kind of like Kobe did Paul Gasol in the like Kobe did Paul Gasol in the Olympics. That way is one of them situations where if you feel that pick coming, they're not going to put as much effort into it. So I'm cool with Clark Phillips running that nickel position, but I just want to see what his spatial awareness looks like. Now I know as far as moving forward on the outside, he really impressed me. But that's I want to see how he's looking in the middle of the field. going up against Justin Jefferson, how that will work out. Clown said, yeah, man, he's small, man. He's small. It will actually work to his benefit to have the sidelines over there because, you don't want it to be a situation where he's dealing with all that space. Just imagine if he was playing nickel and, they messed around and had Kyle Pitts, lined up in the slide, or they ran motion and Kyle Pitts and he had to cover the outside man. They run the trips, and he has to cover the middle man after Kyle Pitts runs motion, and his responsibility is the middle man. What's Clark Phillips like, 5'9", 5'8", and you got Kyle Pitts 6'6". That's a tall task, Bo. Like, look, first of all, I don't believe in anybody being out of any fight, but that's that's a tall task. That's a tall task. Raymond Collins said, "What in the world, Bo?" He says, we were to finesse, we were too finesse and soft on defense. It's got to be more aggressive and physical." Hey, that's it, Bo. That's it. If we could do that, we'll be in there like swimwear. Shouts out to my homeboy T Dirty. Says, "What in the world, Bo?" Coming in to show some love. Shouts out to my homeboy, man. That's my homeboy right there. Even though he a Saints fan, that's my brother. Shouts out to my homeboy T Dirty. If you want some intel on what's going on with the Saints, of course, you holler at my homeboy Big Q, and you holler at T Dirty, man. T Dirty hilarious. I make sure y'all check him out, Bo. Well, Amy's in here. What in the world, Bo? What's going on with you, man? My homeboy ATLGA Faithful DC says, can we just give Pitts Cousins in a 2026 first round? Forget, man. I mean, the question is that would they take that? Is that something that they're willing to take? And also, once again, is Myles Garrett, does he want to come here? If he says he wants to go to a winner, is he looking at the Atlanta Falcons and saying, yeah, that's a winner right there? I mean, we can't necessarily say that. We can't necessarily say that. Shouts out to my homeboy T Dirty. Hey, T Dirty, I just applied for the for that New Orleans Saints job. They had it on Craigslist. So I just applied for it. I sent them a reply, and we'll see how it goes. They said they want me to call them tomorrow. So shouts out to my homeboy T Dirty. Hey, ATLG, he said that was kind of a, well, look, I mean, the thing is, ATLGA Faithful, fact of the matter is that that's something that a lot of people are saying. A lot of people are saying, hey, give them Kyle Pitts, Kirk Cousins, and a first round pick. And they ain't joking when they saying that. So, I mean, look, I don't know. Oh, man, JB says, I know we need defense, but we need to address Pennett's blind side. McGarry got 2 left feet. Dang, come on. Man, that's rough right there, Bo. That's rough. Look, I mean, but you're right. Unfortunately, that's another thing that we're going to have to address. Are we going to run it back with Caleb McGarry? Is he going to give us the discount since he's been here and we drafted him originally? Or is it going to be one of them situations where we try to go out and get another guy that's going to block Pennett's blind side? I mean, because one thing that I haven't heard throughout this whole stream, I haven't heard anybody say anything about being worried about the offense. I think everybody's kind of good with the offense. So, but if it's a situation where you go off and you get another left tackle who's not sufficient in protecting the blind side, look, it's tough. It's tough. Rodman says Atlanta is not a Super Bowl contender. No, Myles. Look, I can't say whether this team is a Super Bowl contender or not. I mean, because we as of right now, this is still the 2024 team. I don't know what 2025 team looking like yet. ATLGFA says, Low, who is your favorite D tackle in this draft or possible sleeper? Big Low Country. That's who my favorite D tackle is. DC, Big Low Country. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll take them twice on Sunday. A says, we need Green, Williams, or Pierce at 15. Man, shout out to James Pierce, man. That's a great kid, man. Great man. Met him out there at Tennessee when we was out there chilling out with those guys, man. James Pierce, cool people. Shouts out to James Pierce. If we get him in Atlanta, Bo, that'll be right on time. Hopefully I can get some free sweet tickets. Come on, James Pierce. Come on. Tony Wright says, go look at tape. Kyle Pitts is excellent running that pivot route in college, and he scored a lot of touchdowns running that route. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, is that the route that he scored a touchdown in London with? If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember. Right, hey, look, I suit up, Bo. I suit up. I can get you a good 15 plays a game. I can get you a good 15. Think I won't come through there. Think I won't come through there with it, Bo. I still got the handwork now. I can still get it done for you. Oh man, purple. Yeah, man. The defensive line is stacked. It's stacked. Should I be out there playing? You know, they'll be like, man, daggone Big Low, we didn't know you still had it. If you ask me if I love you, I do. That's what defensive line coach gonna be saying. Hey, Big Low, it's 4th and short. I need you. Yeah, I got you, coach. I get a stop for you. Throw it up. Oh man, gotta love it, man. But look, at the end of the day, I'm legitimately thinking, as far as Myles Garrett goes, is it gonna be one of those situations where, you know, we make a run at him, everything is going to have to work perfectly. In my honest opinion, everything is going to have to work perfectly. But the beautiful thing is that the Super Bowl is Sunday, and then free agency is going to be not long after. And we're going to see what happens, Bo. That's the that's the beautiful thing. Off season is a lot of times it's just as intriguing as the regular season. So I'm definitely excited to see what happens, and moving forward, we're going to be getting together and having these coaches meetings, the original coaches meetings. We're going to get together, have the coaches meetings, and we're definitely going to talk about it and see what we get a chance to or see what's going to happen next. So, moving forward, we're going to have some mock drafts, and we're going to have some reactions to the moves that we make in free agency, and the people that we release and everything else. And we're just going to see how it works, man. We're going to see how it works. I'm definitely excited. But look, in the meantime, in between time, I need y'all to stay safe. Please don't do anything that I would do. And I need y'all to make sure you share this channel with your friends and family. Make sure that you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And we definitely and greatly appreciate it. Make sure that you check out all of the Atlanta Falcons content creators. Everybody's making some great content. Make sure that you check them out. Support all of those guys, man. And got nothing but love for all of those guys. Even if all those guys ain't got nothing but love for me. Y'all take it easy. Stay safe. Please don't do anything that I would do. What in the world, Bo?